Hello, everyone, and welcome to beautiful Lake Moomaw, one of the Commonwealth of Virginia's beautiful scenic attractions, nestled in the Alleghany Highlands of the western part of the state. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in for this episode of Life with Zach. Today, I'm going to be starting a series. Hopefully, it'll come out weekly, featuring different travel and exploration videos about places that I've been, places that you may want to check out. The first of these, as you may have already guessed, is going to be about Lake Moomaw here in the state of Virginia. I went to Lake Moomaw late in July, grabbed a bunch of great pictures, some great videos, and learned a whole lot about what the place has to offer, what it's all about, and why you should consider visiting. So I hope you find some value in this video. I hope you enjoy it. If you do, be sure to hit like. Leave me with a comment on what you've learned about Lake Moomaw or what questions you may have. And definitely, if you want to continue the series, hit subscribe to see the other videos as they come out. Now, the first question you may have is, what is Lake Moomaw? Lake Moomaw is kind of, I would say, a hidden gem in the state of Virginia. I live only about 2.5 hours away and only learned about the existence of Lake Moomaw in, I'll say, the past year, and didn't really consider it a serious place to visit until I needed somewhere to go just on a day trip, and wanted to avoid some of the crowds that come with some of our other popular locations. So I thought this might be a great option. Now, Lake Moomaw itself is about a 2,500, it's just over 2,500 acre lake in the Alleghany Highlands of Virginia. It was formed by what's called Gathright Dam, which is operated by the Corps of Engineers on the Jackson River. Okay, and this dam is designed to preserve water quality, to do flood control in that area, and to provide recreation opportunities through this lake. It has a maximum depth of about 152 feet. It has 43 miles of undeveloped shoreline. Now, I'll say that again, undeveloped shoreline. Basically, this entire lake is surrounded by the George Washington National Forest and other recreation areas, meaning that the lakeshore itself is not going to be developed. So that is one plus that this site has. The next thing you may wonder about Lake Moomaw is, where actually is it? So Lake Moomaw, as I said, lies in the Alleghany Highlands of Virginia, which is kind of the mid-western part of the state, kind of up against the West Virginia border. It was formed by the Jackson River, which flows in through what's called Bath County and into Alleghany County. And the lake itself kind of sits astride the border between those two communities. And it is accessible, not really from any interstates, but is kind of on the other side of Interstate 81. If you head west over the mountains, that's where it's located, or north from Interstate 64. Now, getting there, there's really two ways to get there. The first one is you can head north from Covington, from Interstate 64. So if you're coming from the south, that's a really good option. Come up Interstate 81, get on 64 heading west, and then get off of Covington and go north. If you're coming from the northern areas like me, you would come down Interstate 81, get off in the Stanton area, and then head over the mountains over into Bath County, crossing the mountain, going through Warm Springs, and over to the northern part of the lake, or then going through Hot Springs into the center part of the lake. Now, if you go there, again, I just want to stress that there are no interstates that provide really good access. You're at least an hour, probably more, from an interstate or a major metropolitan area if you go here. So you can expect the roads you're going to travel on are going to be windy. They're going to be 2-lane roads. I think the main road coming in through Hot Springs does have a turning lane in it. So That's about as big as you're going to get. There's going to be gravel roads. So you may think, oh my goodness, I'm lost or I'm in the middle of nowhere when you really kind of are. But just realize that the travel in here is not what you may expect from a place that's easier to reach or more developed. Now, there are some pretty good signs. Not everywhere, but there are some pretty good signs that will lead you in, especially to the visitor center and the main attractions around that, the dam and stuff like that. But again, just realize that where you're coming in is going to be roads that you may not be used to. They're going to be different roads, smaller roads, in a more rural and smaller setting. Now, what are some of the things that you can do at Lake Moomaw? And I promise that I will follow these up with more in-depth videos about some of the other aspects of the lake, including the recreation opportunities there. But I just want to touch really quick the five big things that you can do in and around Lake Moomaw. So the first one, and this is probably the biggest one, is fishing. So when they designed Lake Moomaw, they identified it had the potential to have both warm and cold water fish because of the depth of the lake and the way the layers of the water would be crafted once it was filled. And that turned out to be true. So there's really awesome fishing opportunities here for a wide array of fish. And actually, there's several state record holders. There's a lot of trophy fish and other things that come out of Lake Moomaw. So fishing is a number one thing here. Number two is boating. When we were there, we saw a lot of boats. There's multiple boat launches. You can basically boat through the entire lake. There are no restrictions on the boats in terms of horsepower and things. You can come into any of the shores along here. And in fact, if you want to go fishing, but the boat is about the only way to do it. There's only a couple fishing areas that don't involve a boat. So boating, jet skiing is big here, though there weren't as many jet skis as many other places, or primarily just boats, and most of those were people fishing. A few people were out for more recreational boating, but most of the people I saw here were fishing. Now, there's also two really good opportunities for swimming, or you might call a beach here. There's one at the southern point, and there's one at the northern point. There's Collins Cove, and there's the Bogue Mountain Recreation Area. And I'll include links to both of those in the description so that you can get the spellings and links of where to find that information at. But both these are small beach areas that are provided by the people who manage the lake. And there's actually broader access beyond that in terms of the shoreline to be able to go swimming and stuff here. The lake was wonderful to swim in. It didn't have all that sticky mud and stuff that you might consider with other smaller lakes. And these beach areas weren't even that crowded. There was good parking and all kinds of other stuff. But like I said, I'll talk more in depth about those later, but there were a lot of people there swimming. Other opportunities include hiking. There's all types of trails through the George Washington Forest and other places around here for you to go on to hike. And then camping. There's multiple campgrounds in terms of places for RVs, tents, camping, all that you can set up here around the lake. And then fifth, to just kind of wrap it up, why is Lake Moomaw a good place to visit, kind of in a nutshell? So it's rural and isolated. I like that because it means it's not crowded. It doesn't have the development around the lake, and it doesn't have all those things that come with a more popular destination, okay? And it's not horrible to get through. It's just another step beyond what you may be typically used to in terms of interstate access and things. It has great views. Being in the Highlands, you get the mountain views. Basically, while you're sitting at the water, it's like being at the beach and the mountains at the same time. There's beautiful scenic views and vistas and things that are just wonderful to see. The natural beauty here is just as good as it is anywhere else. So I think you would have a wonderful time if you're coming to look at the scenery, and just you would be overwhelmed by the beauty of the place. The water itself, like I mentioned, was wonderful. The temperature was great. It was shallow enough to be able to go out, to be able to wade out. It was wonderful for swimming. They have areas with the buoys marking off so the boats can't come over to bother you. The water, and the water itself was just this great, like greenish blue color. It wasn't that dark brown color you get a lot of lakes and stuff like that. Um, Again, it's not crowded, which is a great thing, especially now in terms of post-COVID travel. Everything seems to be booked up and really filled with people. This didn't have that. You didn't feel like you were sitting on top of people or crammed or anything like that. It was really wonderful that it wasn't crowded. And then there's just so many activities to do here. You can look at the dam, learn about that. You can go to the beaches, you can go hiking, you can go fishing, you can go boating. Really, there's something for everyone here. All right, so that's just in a nutshell why it's a great place to visit. I'm sure there's going to be other videos that you're going to learn a lot more about those opportunities when you come here to the dam. So thanks again for tuning in to this basic introduction and 5 things that you need to know about Lake Moomaw based on my trip. Like I said, I'm going to be releasing a series of videos that talk more in depth about basically the things that we did, the opportunities we saw for you to visit, and why this is a good place to go to. So I hope you subscribe so you can get those as they come out. Again, like this video if you've enjoyed it and found value in it, and leave a comment with any questions or any follow-up. Always love to hear from people and for people to share additional information so that when people check out this video, there's other great things for them to learn in the comment section. So again, thanks for checking out Life with Zach in this video, and hope you have a wonderful day.